Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. My name is Shoaib Khan and welcome to Maxafter.com's product tutorial called Sports Football. Before we start the tutorial, please be sure to check out the preview video in the preview section so that we know what is going on in here. As usual, this tutorial is a brief overview about the product, how to change the text, and a few other things about it. So let's start the tutorial. As you can see that this is a 1920 by 1080 project, full HD, and it's 29.97 frames, which can be changed to other frame rates as well. Basically, I have saved two projects for you. One is this one, which is sports, no plugin required. In this project you don't require a trapcode plugin because I have pre-rendered it for you guys. So these particles that you see here are created in particular. So I have rendered out these particles for you, and so that's why you don't need the plugin. And here are the rendered files, which is good PNG size, and the quality is good as well. I've also included the other file where the plugin is required for those of you who have got the plugin, and you can utilize that file with the trapcode plugin. So this is what you get when you download the file. Of course, it's a zip file. When you unzip it, you've got basically two projects. One is sports plugin required, like I've said, it is with the trapcode, and the same file for those of you who hasn't got trapcode particular. So I've rendered out it for you so that you can use this one, which says sports no plugin required. So I've uploaded both of the files so that the people who have the plugin, they can use this one, and who don't have the plugin, they can use this one. In both cases it works. So let's move on towards the tutorial now. To change the text is quite straightforward and simple, because I have made a folder here which is replace text here. You'll find this folder in all my projects. So if you need to change the text, all you need to do is locate this folder, replace text here. So let's say you want to change this text here, that's a sports football 1. So you open up folder and we'll locate our text 1, which is 01 here, and we double click on it. So you'll find that there's nothing in here, just the text. Okay, so what we do here is we click this top layer here. Actually all the layers are same, so if you turn off, it's just effects, different effects. Okay, let's first change the text for the top layer and turn off these ones. Let's say I want to write here Maxafter, and then football team. Right, so remember this, what you have written here. Turn off this one, open the second one, write the same thing here, double click on it, Maxafter, and then football team, and turn on the third one and write the same thing here. So Maxafter football team. So let's see how it looks. So there you go. So you have changed the text. The reason I couldn't do in one layer because I've just used different effects, you know. So what you need to do is just write the same thing in all these layers. That you can do it by double click on the layer and change the text, or turn on the second one, double click on it, change the text, write the same thing, and then double click on it, change the text, write the same thing. And then when you go to the final, you'll see the change. There you go. So it's Maxafter football team. Similarly, if you see the text behind it says your text 02. So again, you go to the same folder and we select this one, text 02, replace here. You double click on it and we change the text here. So it's a long text. What we can do is we can change it one by one. So we can write anything if you like. Yeah, and then you can just copy paste and Control C and move it forward a little bit so that the next text comes in. Control V, move it forward, next text comes in. So this is how basically you can write a text, it depends how long. If you don't want to scroll, you can just write a simple still text. You press U on your keyboard and you can just delete these keyframes, and then you can have your text there, simple. So if you go to final now, it says Maxafter. It's changed for you. There's another piece of text here, the small one. This can be changed the same way. This is a still text, so it's easy for you to change. So we haven't got enough room here, so you can have an idea. Okay, Maxafter, yeah. And sometimes it looks blurry because we are looking at half resolution. You can always turn it up and see the good quality. Wrong spelling, anyways, you can write whatever you like. So here you can write anything you like as well. So once the text has been changed, what you can do is then go back to the final, and you'll see the text here has been changed. So I've done a rough one so you can write your text nicely there. So this is how you change. Sometimes I keep it to half resolution because when you open the file, it doesn't put too much pressure on your machine. So that is why I always put it to half or third or quarter. Some people sometimes email me saying that, oh, you don't see it properly, it's a bit blurry. The reason is because I do it in, I set it to half. If you want to see best quality, of course, you can then watch the full one here. So that's how it is. Right, so basically there are two main comps. If you go to main comps here, it's wrong spelling actually, main comps. So but anyways, main comps. So if you click this one, so this is comp A football, and this is player zoom. This is the one where you see the players, where the particles, zoom in. But for now I have just chosen American football. So what I'm going to do is next time I'll do it for cricket and soccer as well, and other sports as well. So I'll make a series basically of this sports template. But you can also change it if you are good in After Effects. What you can do, instead of these cutouts, you can replace it with your player. If you're interested in cricket, you can make a cutout of your player and put it here, so it'll be the same. I've also got some other, there's another folder here that's called pre-comps. If you open it, there's lots of pre-compositions in here. And also we've got a gadget here as well that comes with this project. So it's a cool gadget that can be imported in your other projects as well and make use of it. So the length of the project is is 18 seconds. So there are no plugins required for this project, like I've explained earlier. Okay, one more thing is I sometimes get emails from the buyers who are not good with After Effects. They want to know how to render the file. So it's pretty straightforward. You can also do my rendering tutorial as well, but for now I can show you how to do it. Let's say if you want to render this file, what you can do is, after changing everything, you go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. So this is basically the render settings here. What you can do is first go to the best settings here, make the best settings best, you change this to best, and this is to full, which is 1920 by 1080, and leave everything here as it is. You go to the next one, which is lossless, and here if you want AVI, then leave it as video windows. But if you want uncompressed file, here is the option here. It says no compression. Click here, it says no compression. But if you want a smaller size file, let's say you want to load it to website, or you want to use it as for preview purposes, you can always change it from here. These are basically the formats, compressors. They compress the files. So you can use these ones and check which one works for you. All these are good compressors, but usually the best is, I think, the format you should choose as QuickTime, because QuickTime works for PCs and Macs as well. So stick to QuickTime, and if you want basically uncompressed file, which is the top quality, then you go here and you change it to none and change the frame rate, of the according to your project. So you press OK, and now so this is uncompressed. Remember, the file size will be huge, and also turn on the audio output if you want to render the audio as well. But remember, this size will be uncompressed, a huge size, but the quality is best. This is something that you can send it to the TV channels. Once you render it, then you can put it on your DVD and give it to your client and say that this is uncompressed. It becomes easier for the TV channels, or other companies to open an uncompressed file and use it, because sometimes if you apply a compressor and a TV channel hasn't got a compressor, then it's a problem. So that's why I always basically send uncompressed files to my clients, so that I don't get any complaints. Now this is uncompressed file. Now the other format is compressors. Again, we come here and we see the compression type. Mostly photo JPEG is very good. So when you click photo JPEG, the good thing about photo JPEG is file size becomes smaller and the quality is good as well. But don't use best quality, because best and high is basically the same. So always turn it down to 75%, which is high, and the file size will be smaller and the quality is similar to best. So but if you do best, the file size will be huge, but you can get the same results when you put it to high. So for photo JPEG, always put it to high, so the file size becomes smaller and it gives you the quality of best. So this is basically photo JPEG, and then there are other as well, which is H.264 as well. You can turn it up to best or high or medium, whatever, according to you, according to your needs. And then there are PNG and the other ones, and the animation I usually use, for smaller file size, H.264, and you can also use MPEG-4 video, and you can use also photo JPEG as well. So these are the formats that you can use, and they are quite handy as well. And then after doing that, let's say we are doing uncompressed file, none. You say OK, and then you turn on the audio as well. So now you got uncompressed file. Basically, what you can do is when you can render uncompressed file, and then after that you can import that uncompressed file and then apply different compressors and see which one works for you, and it's quicker as well. But if you render with compression first and you realize that oops, this is not what I wanted, then you have to render the whole thing again with the effects, the whole project, and it'll take longer time. So it's best if you render Targas or JPEGs or movie file as uncompressed, and then import that uncompressed file and then apply all the formats, compressions, to see which one works for you. So after that, when you say OK, press OK, and then what you do is go to output and you press final, and then write the name here, whatever the name is, and save the file, and remember the location where you saved it, and then press render. So this is how you render the project, which is quite straightforward and simple. So I've shown different ways of rendering. So once you render the file, then you can always, if it's uncompressed, you can always then file, let's say you want to import the compressed file, import, then you can, wherever the file is, let's say you import the file, and again let's say this is the uncompressed file, and then you just drag on this button here, so the new file will be open, for you, and then you do the same thing that I've showed earlier, put the compressors and all that. So I guess that's all about this project. I hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial, and once again, my name is Shoaib Khan from Maxafter.com. Assalamu alaikum.